Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation on Java programming. Today, we will explore a simple yet powerful example using a single-dimensional array to perform basic number analysis. The objective of this program is to accept 20 integer inputs from the user and then analyze them to determine how many of those numbers are even, how many are odd, and how many are divisible by 4. This program will help you understand how arrays, loops, and conditional statements work together in Java. Whether you're a beginner learning arrays for the first time or revising core logic concepts, this example is a practical way to reinforce your understanding. So let's dive into the problem and see how to approach it step by step. Let's begin by understanding the problem statement. We are required to write a Java program that accepts 20 integer numbers from the user. These numbers will be stored in a single-dimensional array, often referred to as a 1D array. Once the input is complete, the program should analyze these numbers and give us 3 outputs. First, it should display the number of even numbers, that is, numbers which are divisible by 2 without a remainder. Second, it should display the number of odd numbers, which are the numbers that are not divisible by 2. And third, it should display the number of numbers that are divisible by 4, also known as multiples of 4. The key learning objective here is to apply array traversal, use conditional logic like if and else statements, and practice counting conditions within a loop. This kind of problem is not only common in school-level exams but also helps develop a mindset for solving real-world data filtering problems using Java. In the next slide, we'll break this down into an algorithm so you can see the logic before we write the code. Before we jump into the coding part, let's understand the algorithm, which is the step-by-step logical process we'll follow to solve this problem. Step 1. We begin the program and prepare to take input from the user. Step 2. Declare an array of size 20. We create an integer array named numbers to hold the 20 values entered by the user. Arrays are great for storing a fixed number of elements of the same type. Step 3. Initialize counters. We declare and initialize 3 variables, even count, odd count, and multiple of 4 count, all set to 0. These will keep track of how many even, odd, and multiples of 4 we find. Step 4. Repeat for 20 numbers. We use a loop that runs 20 times to accept each number from the user one by one. In each iteration, we read an integer input and store it in the array. Step 5. Apply conditions inside the loop. First, we check if the number is divisible by 2. If yes, we increase the even count by 1. If that number is also divisible by 4, we increment multiple of 4 count as well. If the number is not divisible by 2, then it's odd, and we increment odd count. Step 6. End the loop. After processing all 20 numbers, the loop ends. Step 7. Display the results. We then print out the total number of even numbers, odd numbers, and the count of numbers that are multiples of 4. Step 8. Stop. This marks the end of our program logic. Understanding this algorithm will make the actual code easier to follow, since each line in the code will correspond to one of these steps. In this part of the code, we begin by importing the scanner class to allow user input. We then define a class named numberAnalysis, and within it, the main method, the starting point of our program. Next, we create a scanner object to read input from the user. We declare an integer array numbers of size 20 to store the inputs. Finally, we initialize 3 counters, even count, odd count, and multiple of 4 count, all set to 0. These will track our results as we process the numbers. Next, we'll see how the loop reads the input and checks each number. In this part of the code, we use a for loop to read 20 integers from the user and store them in the array. Inside the loop, we use nextInt to take input for each index of the array. Then we check if the number is divisible by 2. If yes, we increase even count. We also check if the same number is divisible by 4, and if so, we increment multiple of 4 count. If the number is not divisible by 2, it's odd, so we increase odd count. This loop repeats for all 20 numbers. On the next slide, we'll look at how the results are displayed. In this final part of the code, we display the results after the loop has finished. We print the total number of even numbers, odd numbers, and numbers that are multiples of 4 using system.out.println. Lastly, we close the scanner object with sc.close to free system resources. This completes our program logic. Now let's see a sample run of the program in the next slide. In this slide you will get the full program link which you can execute the entire program. Also, program link is available in the description box. This slide shows the variable description table, or VDT. It explains the role of each variable used in our program. Numbers is an integer array that stores the 20 inputs. I is the loop counter for traversing the array. Even count, odd count, and multiple of 4 count are integer variables that keep track of how many numbers fall into each category. SC is the scanner object that takes input from the user. Understanding the VDT helps us follow the program more easily and makes debugging simpler. This slide shows a sample run of the program. The user enters 20 integers, a mix of even and odd numbers, including some that are divisible by 4. After processing the input, the program displays the results: 12 even numbers, 8 odd numbers, and 7 numbers that are multiples of 4. This output confirms that our logic and conditions are working correctly. To recap, this program demonstrated how to use a single-dimensional array in Java to store user input. We applied simple if-else conditions to classify each number as even, odd, or a multiple of 4. We also used a loop to efficiently process multiple values and counters to track specific results. This example reinforces key concepts like array traversal, conditional checks, and real-world use of logic in programming. With this, we complete our program explanation. Let's go over the key points we've covered in this program. First, we used a single-dimensional array to store 20 numbers entered by the user. We used the modulus operator, that's the percentage sign, to check if numbers were even or divisible by 4. A for loop helped us cycle through the array, and we used counters to track each category. Input was handled using the scanner class, a standard tool in Java for reading values. Overall, this program helped reinforce the use of arrays, loops, and condition checking, 3 core concepts in Java programming. Thank you so much for watching this session on number analysis of the numbers in an array using Java. I hope the explanation made the concept clearer and more enjoyable for you. All the important components, the question, algorithm, Java program, variable table, and output, are available in the description box below. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share it with your classmates, and subscribe for more easy-to-follow programming tutorials. Every share and comment encourages more students to learn with clarity and confidence. Keep practicing, keep building, and remember, your journey to becoming a great programmer starts with mastering the basics. See you in the next session, and as always, happy coding!